the Arsenal, a Small Knights podcast hosted by Lord Hood, Lazarus Clay, and Zagreus.
Episode 86, recorded on July 20th, 2014. This is Lord Hood.
This is Zebramf.
And this is Ladders and Sklay, and welcome to the Arsenal, a podcast where we talk about Spiral Knights. And today we are joined by Greenlink. So
Yay.
hello, friend.
Hey.
Ever-present, ever-popular, somehow. Honestly, still not sure where people are, fanboying you from. What's the source?
I have 50 subscribers on YouTube. That is nothing.
And yet people are just walking up all the time like, hey, you're Greenlink! You know what the funny part was? I think it was it Maroka and Zeb and Hood and I? HRPV. We were all standing around. Was Sir Jinx there?
Not yet.
Nah.
No, was it not? I don't know.
And this one guy walks up and just singles out Greenlink. And it's like, hey, I'm your biggest fan, and all this stuff. How?
I get 2 mails at least every week messaging me about this.
Is it one guy acting like a
No,
stalker?
it's multiple people that I know who they are in some way.
Okay.
It's some kind of community trolling project that we don't know about, where everyone's like, let's single out the least popular guy that deserves, to be popular or whatever, and, just treat him really well and ignore everyone else.
That would be between Greenlink and I, because he's got 50 subscribers. I think I'm at 12, so I'm even further down the ladder than he is.
How many do we have?
We have almost 700. Actually, it's worth checking. Euro is 706. Hey, we hit 700 subscribers this week, guys.
Yay.
Yay, thanks. Alright, cool. Good deal. Yeah, I don't know. You guys will have an immense rise in popularity if you make a relatively inappropriate music choice video.
I'm working on mine.
Nice. I'm working on mine. I finally got some recording done this week. I'm doing Grand Foss charges, so no one encroach on my area.
I feel like I'm safe on mine.
Alright, well, we got a lockbox here. Hey, Zeb, do you know about our derpy lockbox skets?
Not entirely. I have some subtle clues.
Okay.
Fill me in.
Alright, well, we got a lockbox here, and I'm sending it through the internet to you, okay? Download this lockbox, download a physical item through the internet.
Alright. Give me a second.
This is the 21st century.
Alright. There we go. I got it.
You got it?
Yep.
Alright. So,
let's see what's inside. Oh, it's the Coincidence podcast.
oh look.
We talked about Allmeyer and Fiend portals last week, and now they're both in this week's update.
Which is totally not part of our plan for world
No,
domination.
totally not. It's totally fine. It's not part of it.
Nope.
I had nothing to do with this.
No one had anything to do with it. Actually, Greenlink was the one who suggested them, wasn't he? Greenlink and Snakes suggesting Allmeyer discussion and Fiend transmutations last week. That was a good episode. You should go listen to it on our website, which is sklayelite.com/arsenal, but shameless self-promotion aside.
There is no shameless self-promotion on your own podcast.
I guess not. I don't pay a royalty to say anything. Eat at... What's a place? Eat at... Never mind, I'm not gonna...
Yeah, let's not go that far.
Okay.
Alright, let's see what else we've got in here. We've got a hero of Spiral Knights retiring. That's sad.
Dun dun dun.
And we also have this weird-looking thing. It's kind of like a sword and a gun. It's a sword gun, a sun, a gourd. I don't know what to call it.
It's a thing.
It's this thing. And that looks like it's about it.
Alright, well, we got a bit to get into, so yeah, let's jump right into it, shall we? Zane, how was your week?
So, let us in. How was your week?
Bud, how was your week? Mission report goes something like this. But someone said a while back that they were working on a lockbox. I think it was Snakes, actually, and he said he was going to send it to us. Like an actual prop lockbox. So we'll see if he can do that, because, as we've mentioned in passing before, the podcast's life is dwindling. As far as its time of existence is coming to an end. So
Quick, someone put a Grim Tortogun under it.
yeah. So we'll see if he can get that out in time. But mission report, which is our gaming experiences since the last podcast. So in other words, how's your week, gents?
A week was crazy.
Zeb, you had an you had an interesting week.
Yeah.
I was there for part of your week.
Yes, my week involved Thursday and Friday doing a 24-hour live stream. Solid streaming, no interruptions. Of course, there were some intermissions, but I was still streaming for 24 hours. And then I slept for 16 hours after that. But overall, It was a lot of fun. Had a lot of friends come hang out with me, play games. No regrets there. All fun. I got 3 games out of it, too. You sent in a game, didn't you?
Yeah, I sent you Awesome Knots.
Yeah, I didn't get to play that on the live stream, but I'll definitely play that with you sometime.
Sure. Yeah, so when I went to bed, like 4 or 5 hours into when you started streaming, you were on Smite. And when
Yes.
I woke up and got to school and logged on and checked your Twitch, like 10 hours later, you were still playing Smite. Were you playing Smite for 10 hours?
No, I moved on to other games, but I just came back to Smite because it's the game that keeps me awake.
Right.
I think Minecraft, Gary's Mod, and a couple of other things were on there.
Yes, that's right. I tried to play a game called Bad Rats. For those who are familiar with Bad Rats, it's absolutely terrible. For those who are not familiar with it, don't buy it. But lucky for me, it didn't work on my computer, so I didn't have to play it.
Oh, good. Yeah, how long did it take you to beat Oregon Trail?
3.5 hours.
3.5.
And I only lost one person.
And you were playing on the normal difficulty?
Yeah, just normal.
Huh.
The person I lost, I took viewer names and put them into the, you can have slots for friends in Oregon Trail. One of them happened to be Sir-Jinxable. And he happened to break both of his legs and then get captured by a bandit.
And you missed.
I missed the bullet to kill the bandit, and the bandit killed Sir-Jinxable. So, unfortunately, he was the only casualty. But fortunately, he was the only casualty.
There you go.
There you go.
I was
Bound to happen.
I was inspired by you, and so when I was at school on a break, I loaded up Oregon Trail and played through a game. I think I did it in 90 minutes on normal difficulty. Like, how fast can we sprint through this? And one casualty because of the bandit and missing the shot. But
well, I never played the game before, so I had to take time to soak everything in and just learn how to play.
oh, that's cool. Green,
That was-
sorry, go ahead.
That was my week. That's all I
GG.
have to say.
Well done.
Green, what are you up to?
Oh, I've been having way too much fun with this new Dark Briar barrage that I made in Spiral Knights.
Is that your first one?
Yes, blowing things up has never been better.
It's a nitronome that deals extra damage to beasts and fiends and doesn't knock them out of the blast radius.
And
So you
then
can-
I made a Chaos Cloak to go with it, so charge time reduction.
Amazing.
That sounds like fun, man.
I had fun doing compounds.
The
Yeah.
rarest form of fun there is.
Yeah, between Dark Retribution and Dark Briar Barrage, you can't go wrong with dealing damage. Obviously, Haze Bombs are status, but
Yep.
And other than that, I got the rest of the shells that I needed to get a full set of items. And
Nice.
that took me about 7 hours worth of grinding.
and then just a bunch of Tortodrone runs.
Oh, the runs were included within those 7 hours.
Ah. How many sparks?
About 36.
Oh, man.
That's not bad.
I did not care. I just went straight in, killing things as fast as I can.
I wish I had 36. I'm down to 12. No, 11, sorry. I'm down to 11.
Would you say you rammed through it?
Yes, probably.
Charged through it?
Blitzed through it.
Stormed through it.
Trying to think of other puns that would work with the Tortodrones, but I can't think of anything. Hood, did you play anything this week?
I played some TF2.
TF2.
That's about it, I think.
We should just midweek, just sometime, get a group and do some like
I
Degree
played
Keep.
with, actually, Snakes joined me in the game.
Nice.
He was medicing me, and then he switched over to the other team so I could dominate him a couple times.
You've main Pyro, right?
I main whatever the team seems to need. Unlike some people where there's 8 snipers on a team. I like Sniper, Medic, and Pyro are my main ones.
And you got those random gifts.
Yeah, people like to give me stuff.
Just random people giving him strange kill streak weapons.
Yeah. I got a strange kill streak backburner from someone.
I understand each of those are worth like $5, right?
I could check on like the market thing.
Yeah, they're worth a good bit. Anyways, minor derail aside. Nice. We should get a game midweek and just jump into Dickroot Keep or some other melee only, or even a normal map and just like go all melee night style.
The Groot's fun. Yeah. Or what's fun is when you do something and don't tell anyone else on the server you're doing, but like half the server's doing it, so people catch on.
Yeah.
Like just everyone go Pyro. And
offensive medic.
Yeah. I actually do. I rage medic sometimes. That's my rage class. I take out my Blitzsager and start killing heavies.
Nice. Still a good game, regardless of what people say. Anyways, this is the first promotion for me that I was able to instacraft like anything, because like even it's not normal that a promotion starts and I can instantly go to any place, the auction house or the market or the alchemy machine, and just click whatever the button is, buy or buy with real money or craft, and just get something from the promotion like instantly. That's not something that's normal for me and my poor old self. But seeing as how I got all the shells, ancient shells that I needed to craft all the shields, but I never crafted all the shields because I'm still not convinced of their utility, and I used to strike buckler way too much to care anyways, that I just crafted 2 of the guns like as soon as my game updated, because I had an auto gun and a Shadowtech Alchemer in my inventory, as it turned out. So just insta-crafting 2 of the guns was kind of nice, and then leveling them up really quick.
Yeah, I can't say I've ever done something like that either.
I had an auto gun in my inventory when the event started.
Nice. Well,
yeah, that was fun.
It is the Tortodrone update, though, so perhaps we should just get into the news, as we often do with these events,
go ahead and do that.
And discuss it. Overheard at Moorcroft Manor. From the helmet of someone who likes some creature that brawls at a horde to fight with or something like that.
The helmet is supposed to be resembling to a demon called...
Okay, well, our news and discussion this week begins with the July 16th patch notes. Greenlink just showed us these. Can I use the pictures?
Yes, go on.
Alright, I'm going to copy-paste these into the notes, and I'll get these. The July 16th patch, all it did is update the snipe hat textures, and you can do the before and after, as Greenlink just made us do, on the images that he has here of his stranger hat, but basically fixed a little bit of color around the ears. That's kind of ridiculous. Did you notice it before the update, before it patched?
I noticed that the texture looked slightly smoother overall, but I did not notice the coloration fix.
That's interesting. Yeah, because the game kind of works off of a gamma system, where it's kind of like green screen, blue screen, red screen. Not like a broken computer, but like where you can chroma key out certain colors and replace them with other colors. So in the game files, all they have is a really neon-looking, say, shard material that's like green in some places and pink in other places. And to make it look like a light shard, it replaces all the pink color with a certain shade of yellow and all of the green color with a different shade of yellow and stuff like that. That's what it looks like is going on here, because you can see pink underneath the old helmet just a little bit. That's my guess, because that's how it works with materials.
Yeah. I remember when they released the prismatic bent vents and they forgot to do all that, so they just released a neon-looking item until they fixed the textures.
Nice. We got the Almayer furniture boxes, which I guess this promotion is lasting until... when is it? The 29th?
I think it's the 28th or 29th, yeah.
The end of the 29th. And this is Almire themed stuff, so you get like this charred furniture and rugs and tapestries and like nice new Almerian furniture and rugs and tapestries. And then the sprites and the cursed sprites, which I assume just walk around like a Mucat would, or are they more like snipes where they stay in place?
I don't know.
I've not purchased any yet, so I'll have to see.
Let me go run around Sprout Nights and see if I can't find a guild hall with some of those in them.
Sure. And then all of this, kind of weird that we got this random Almire stuff, to be honest. I don't know why that's coinciding, because it's the same day we get March of the Tortodrones, which is returning. And is this going to the 29th also?
That was the one that, I think it said 28th as well, 29th.
Ancient prize boxes can be purchased through July 28th. Almire furniture boxes can be purchased until July 29th, according to the post.
Are these both on the forum?
Yes.
That's
It should be.
interesting.
So we'll see if that's an error, or if that's actually true. I did not notice that. March of the Tortodrones is an update. It was here back in March, and now it's back. So I guess they migrate to one direction of the to one place in the Clockworks, then 3 months later come back.
Yes. Which brings the question, why did it take them 3 years the first time?
It took the long way. Or like they got held up by gremlins or something.
Well, the ancient prize boxes are back too, and so they have the same contents as before, and Greenlink even went back and did the history for us as discussed in episode 69, so all hail the NJ Thugness.
Contain your laughter.
This was like this nice sea green. We also discussed this in Bazaar Banter. It was one of our last discussions, maybe the last discussion. Yeah, it's like the stock normally recolored costume items, just with the sea greenish kind of color. It's nice.
Although, interestingly, it didn't have many of the newer items. It didn't have the drapes, the flak jacket. It just had the old cuirass and things.
Mm-hmm. They didn't push it all the way through, which is kind of interesting. And then, of course, you got your power pistons, which are like the things the Tortodrones have on their back. Basically, pistons going up and down on your back for if you are into that kind of thing.
If you're into that kind of thing.
Was there anything else?
There was
Nothing
an aura or something, wasn't there?
Perhaps? Let's look
I
it up.
can't remember the name of it.
This is the leafy aura.
No, not that one.
Aggro aura.
Aggro.
That's it, yeah.
Oh, that one.
So there you go. And then accessories also, so you get like these sea greenish accessories. So that's a thing. And then this, they like when Sprout Knights, I do like this about what they've been doing with Three Rings, is when they bring back a update, they at least add something so that players who grinded it to the dust last time can maybe not grind as hard, but grind again. And so, like, with Apocria, they had the weapons, and then they added the
grasping aura.
Nipple Twister aura, yes. And now they have the shells, and now they added guns. If you can call them guns.
Yeah.
So we'll get to the guns in just a second, but for all intents and purposes, call this the Gunner update, okay? This is your Gunner update.
Confirmed.
Gunner update confirmed. It came, it happened, we're done. So no more wishing for Gunner update. Now you can expect the Bomber update.
Well, didn't Eurydice confirm that the Gunner update was when they fixed the chilling duelers from firing?
Of course, back on April 1st.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about the actual like mechanics of this for anyone who doesn't know, and then we'll get into the new guns. So, someone else want to explain this? Or I can.
If you want, I can do it.
Go ahead, yeah.
Right. So, this new update has made it so that, for some reason, fiend monsters will start dropping these items called glyphs. Now, not quite sure why they wouldn't drop these before. Why would they start carrying them now? But these glyphs come in 5 varieties, and you'll get 1 to 4 randomly, sometimes when you kill them. These glyphs are Knock, Amu, Tor, Sol, and Deer. if you somehow manage to collect 5 of each of these, for a total of 25, and you have 10,000 crowns spare, you can make a Fiendish ID card.
And that's in the event Mysterious Alchemy Machine, right?
Yeah, that's in the Prestige mission and the arcade. For some reason, it's disappeared from Haven, though.
Yeah, glyphs are like 400 crowns a piece per buy now in Auction House. So
they do come unbound, yes.
Yeah.
You can't auction
the
off.
Fiendish ID card, which is bound to you, can grant entry to the repeatable mission March of the Tortodrones. One ID card grants access to a whole party, and in there you'll find 2 cursed Tortodrones that you have to kill, and they'll drop a combined total of 2 to 6 ancient shells, depending on how lucky you are.
Yep. And so, general strategy, it seems to be, is get some friends, grind out some fiends. It's the same payout regardless of whether you're in tier 1, 2, or 3, so you can just go ahead and grind with everybody and then trade all of your glyph materials to one person who can craft the ID cards.
What exactly is the same payout in tiers? You're talking about the repeatable mission.
The glyphs, sorry.
No, the glyphs are actually slightly different depending on which tier and difficulty you're in.
Is it?
You can get the one on tier 1, normal, and advanced, and I think you can get 2 on elite, and then in tier 2 you can get 2, 2, and 3, and in tier 3 you can get 3, 3, and 4.
Not to disagree with you, but I think I'm disagreeing with you, because I've been grinding tier 1, I've been finding 3 materials at a time.
I think that's how it is, but I've seen some.
I've been getting 3 because I've just been running depth 1 and through 8.
I don't have much to say on this because I haven't been grinding for the glyphs myself.
I guess it is quite kind of random then, I don't know.
I don't know. Speaking of random... No, go ahead.
I can see where your thoughts are coming from, Greenlink, because that's how most everything else in the Clockworks works. Like lower difficulty will give you less stuff. Lower the earlier tiers will give you less of the stuff. Yeah, I can.
And I mean, he may be right. I may just be on corrosive acid or something and not able to count. But I don't know. I do know what is random, which is the 2 Tortodrones in the actual mission. Did we talk about this already?
Yeah. I don't know.
We didn't.
Better go over it again.
You drop anywhere from the 2 Tortodrones in the March of the Tortodrones mission. You fight the Tortodrones, and we'll talk about the fight in a second because it's a doozy of a fight. Possibly the most difficult in the game, honestly, currently, is for me. And they will combine between the 2 Tortodrones, they'll drop a total of 2 to 6 ancient shells, and these in elite. It drops less if you go down in difficulty. And these shells you use to craft either the Tortodrone shields or the Tortodrone guns. You need quite a few of them, so you'll be doing quite a few Tortodrone fights. You need, I don't know what the number is for,
it's right
3-star items require 6 shells, 4-star items cost 10 shells, and 5-star items cost 12 shells. So if you're extremely lucky, like, it's 28 shells necessary per 5-star item, so if you're extremely lucky, you'll still need to do the run 5 times. The March of the Tortodrones fight 5 times to make 1 5-star item, which is the equivalent of 112 ancient shells for a full set of guns or shields, and 224 for everything. For everything. So if you want that, then that's... How much is that? 224 divided by 6 if you're the luckiest person alive, then it's still going to cost you 38 fights in the Tortodrones?
I had these numbers somewhere, didn't I?
You did. They're at the bottom here. Put 224 divided by 6 is 37, yeah. So 37 runs if you're extremely lucky. If you're completely unlucky and you get 2 every single time, that's 112 Tortodrone fights for you. So
I expect to use a lot of sparks as well.
Yeah, let's talk about that. Why would you... Zebramf, why would we ever need to use sparks in a silly Tortodrone fight?
The fight is actually a lot harder than most people expect it to be, because the Tortodrones themselves, they primarily do a lot of normal damage, but the missiles they fire do piercing / elemental, and they also stun or shock you based on where they are, like whether they're landing or whether they're exploding. The Tortoguns are also pretty resistant to most statuses, shock, stun, fire, etc., etc. And even if you do inflict a status on a Tortodrone, it's not the greatest thing because it seems to increase the amount of missiles that are fired from their backs or whatever it is they fire. It gets really hectic really quick. There's also blast blocks and vortex blocks in the middle of it all, which makes things really crazy. And one last thing is also fiend portals that are infinitely spawning fiends unless you take them out, but those portals also just pop up all the
Even
time.
Silkwings, which can heal the Tortodrones.
Yes, even Silkwings. So the battle itself is actually very tough.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
Tortodrones will fire missiles that will fly up in the air and stick to the ground, and if you run into them, you'll get shocked and take damage, which is
Alright.
terrible.
I think there's the occasional griefer in these missions, depending on the layout.
Yes, Grievers are terrible too, especially in Tier 3. And the Tortodrones will charge at you, and they run faster than you do, so you must sidestep or die. Cake or death. They will fire missiles, they will stomp on you, they have a massive area of effect. I think it's Nitronome-sized Stompy Blast, which hurts and melts your shield. And, yeah, it hurts. They're also resistant to, what is it, all damage types except normal?
Yeah.
I think that's how it is.
So, actually a Volcanic Pepper Box is one of the most effective weapons, I'm being told, in this whole thing.
I thought we did this last time and we tested the damage of the volcanic pepper box versus the Blitz Needle.
Perhaps we did.
And
Maybe
we noticed that it was still, the Blitz Needle was still more powerful. and with the volcanic pepper box, you have that chance of inflicting fire, don't you? Or are they too resistant?
That's true. I don't know if they're too resistant or not. They seem to have a +4 resistance, or a +6 resistance, I'm not sure which. What that means is it's like trying to haze bomb someone who has max resistances on something in lockdown, where, you know, they can just walk right through the haze. But even if they have, like, shock max on both their things, if you Polaris them enough, eventually they will get shocked, not for very long. But that's because Polaris has a moderate chance to inflict strong shock, while the haze bombs have a high chance to inflict weak status. So it's the difference between weak and strong. If you have any weak or moderate, it does not affect the Tortodrones. They have enough resistance, to ignore those. So that's generally not a good idea. And again, it's like Gremlin Bombers, where if you light them on fire, they suddenly start spamming bombs like it's their job. So
Like they're paid to do it?
yeah. Now, we do have these new guns that you can craft, and some people are actually calling these the new Blitz. And I honestly
don't get it.
agree with them once we look at the numbers. But here's how it goes. So you got the normal, elemental, piercing, and shadow version of this.
Right.
And they actually have 4 different base crafting recipes, so you need to use a blaster for the normal gun to start, and then it builds into a 3, 4, and 5-star Tortodrone style gun. So you just need the basic gun. For elemental, it's a prismatic alchemer. For piercing, it's an auto gun, and for shadow, it's a shadow tech alchemer. And the names are very much like the shield counterparts.
Shields.
Yeah, so Grand Tortofist, Omega Tortofist, Savage Tortofist, and Gorgofist. And these guns are kind of interesting. They are completely new. They're not reskins of anything. I thought they were Magnus reskins when I first looked at them. But turns out that they are completely new. And when you press the attack button, it actually dashes you forward and sends out a little kind of sword length range laser kind of thing in front of you.
Yep.
And then fires a bullet, which is moderately low ranged. There are other guns that deal higher range, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
I've not actually seen like a Valiance user and a gun user stand side by side, but I think it's a shorter range.
You can still hit switches from a small distance with it, but you're not going to be able to hit an enemy that's halfway across the room.
Right. And the key thing, I think, is the distance that the bullet travels from where you started attacking is the same, but because the dash is there, if there's something in your way, the bullet will not travel as far. So if I'm just standing in an open path, and I shoot a Valiant shot, and then I shoot a Grand Tortofish shot, the bullets will travel the same distance, but if I'm standing up against like a barrier, like one of those like just walls that you're able to shoot over, If I fire a Valiance, it's going to go farther because the dash from the Grand Tortofice is not going to take me anywhere, so the bullet will not travel as far. I think is what I've been hearing.
Yeah, and I think what I've seen is, I haven't had anyone else confirm it, but the bullet does slightly more damage than the actual swing of the weapon.
Yes, it does. So the bullet shot does more than the dash attack. That has been confirmed. If you guys really want the lowdown on this stuff, you can talk to SkyScythe. He is actually working with, I think it's guildmates, and they are collecting quite a bit of information on the numbers. I am guildmate. And Greenlink is guildmate too. All hail Greenlink, the most popular. Unpopular.
Awesome.
And so, yeah, the guns look really nice. Oh, the last thing is a charge attack. Can't forget the charge attack.
The charge attack's cool.
It's a bomb.
It's a bomb.
It's a mortar.
It's a sword gun bomb that charges up the gun. It's a reasonable charge time. You fire the gun, and it shoots like flare spike things up in the air, and they come down and land not very far from you.
Imagine the missiles on the Tortodrone event. They're like those, but a little bit smaller scale.
They're very close together. They are random in how they land, so you cannot actually guarantee that they will hit an enemy that you are standing the correct distance from. And they come down and land, and when they land, they deal damage, and then anything that touches them takes 3 hits of damage. And then they start invincitinking. So invincitinking is like when you use a barrier on something, and you keep barriering them, and they take damage, tink, 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 and they won't take any more damage. We're calling that invincitinking. Invincitink. It's almost hard to say. Point is, you can't shard someone forever. The logistics of this, and I've done tests on this already, is you shoot a charge up, the bullets come down, they land on something, they tick for 3 extra hits of damage, and then start tinking. If they walk into another shard from the same charge, it does not refresh, they keep on tinking. But if you and your friend both fire a charge, they can take damage from each of them, and they tink separately based on each charge shot from each gun. So if that makes sense.
Does the tinking still prevent them from moving?
I do not know. I know the shards prevent them from moving. They block movement. Same as the Tortodrone shards block our movement. I do not know about that one. I've been trying to shield bump enemies through the shards. I've honestly not actually gotten to do it yet. I haven't tried very hard. But that's probably something worth checking. The biggest use for this, honestly, is all turrets, but mainly howitzers, because you can, if you have enough damage, which you will at 5-star, because it actually deals as much damage as a blitz charge. A charge with full tinks, except a blitz charge, if you blitz a howitzer head, the head comes out. With a gun, you fire the gun up in the air, the shard comes down, the land damage does when a bullet hits, the shard hits, it does 200 something damage, then it tinks for an additional 200 damage between the 3 tinks. Then the howitzer dies. His head pops off and counts as a new enemy. The head tinks 3 times on the same shard and also dies. You can basically insta-kill howitzers. You shoot, the shard comes down, poof poof poof, the howitzer dies, the head pops off, and the head dies on the same shard. It's
dedicated turret killing weapon.
Yes, it's amazing. It is also a boon in lockdown, and though it does not deal status, you can use it to zone control by blocking an entrance with shards. It's actually not very practical because the charge takes a decent amount of time. Actually, not that long. There are many weapons in the game that charge longer. It's faster than most bombs at level 1, and it does not have much recoil. You'd expect, I expected Magnus length recoil after shooting it, but you can shield cancel out of it almost as soon as the last bullet leaves your gun.
Which is helpful.
Yes, very.
It's good if you can set it up at the correct time, like if you can predict when you think a striker might come by and fall victim to it.
That would be great. And basically, and again, it does the same amount, it does 400 something damage, which is the same thing as the Blitz. And this is with damage bonus ultra against monsters in depth 26, according to SkyScythe. I'm saying that off the top of my head. A part of that may be wrong. He's not here. But he'll probably correct me and I'll put it in the show notes or something, which is on our website. But yes, the new Blitz, it does the same amount of damage. You have them in all 4 damage types. You cannot hit, like, Romulus twins. They're no good. But then again, neither is the Blitz. Greenlink could tell you something about that.
15 minutes.
Which is how long it takes me to do Ironclad Munition Factory in its entirety 1.5 times. So, yeah. It's redonk. And don't do it. But you can't do that because the missiles don't work. But they're amazing for crowd controlling, for killing things very quickly, for hearing the tink sound if you have a tink fetish. I don't know. They're pretty dang good. And howitzer killers. And all turrets. I mean, all turrets for that matter. The thing is, and I will just reinstate this, the landing of the shards, there seem to be a few predetermined patterns, which is normally how a game works. There's maybe 5 or 6 of them. But what that means is it does not guarantee that a shard will actually land on an enemy. And I've actually shot at a turret that was in front of me, and the missiles went up, and they came down, and they landed, and they all missed. Like, they were all around him, but only the impact damage from the missile coming down hit, and no tinking. And that happens somewhat regularly. But
This bank loves its RNG.
Yep.
still a really good gun, though. So it is potentially as good as a Blitz, except you can always, assuming you have all 4 guns, you can guarantee that you have the damage that's dealing super effective, highly effective, whatever damage to the monster that has the weakness. You can also miss, and such. I have not yet tried this against the Jelly King or Vanaduke, but I want to.
That being said, despite its relatively high damage output, I see myself using this more as a support weapon.
How so?
Like, you've got a bunch of people swinging at enemies, and that's holding them in place, so you can pretty much guarantee that you'll get a shot off. Well, almost guarantee.
That's true, but at that point, like, if the enemy is already pretty low health, you usually wouldn't blitz charge an enemy that your opponents are killing and are almost dead. Well, maybe a blitz isn't a support weapon either. I don't know. Is it worth using that weapon as opposed to a different weapon at that point?
Well, it seems to work well with menders around if they're or silkwings if it's there.
I guess that makes sense. Alright then. In other words, great weapon. It's kind of nice.
I just realised this is a Tortodrone weapon. Has anyone actually tried using their own weapon against them yet?
It seems very effective from what I've heard, though I've not tried. The normal one, particularly, for obvious reasons. But it's the thing where you can stop the Tortodrone's movement with the shards and deal damage from afar.
Yeah, that sounds nice.
I've not seen it done, and I've not, like, in principle it should work really well. I want to try it. I don't have a normal one.
In principle, it should work really well. That's what we said about the catalyzer.
Yes, but the catalyzer was not the new Blitz. These are the new Blitz. I don't know. The Tortofists. Everyone's calling them Tortoguns, not Tortofists, but I guess if we want to be true to character, they should be called Tortofists. Also, just something worth noting, because I did notice this. You could call those shards flares. Could you not? Would you call the little shards from the charge flares?
Yeah, I can see why you
kinda.
called them that.
Maybe. I have the piercing one. I wasn't paying too much attention to the names. Notice the 4-star one is called the Feral Cannon, and there's an item in League of Legends called the Feral Flare. Those hold no correlation to each other, but I just thought it was interesting and figured I'd share. Okay. You can tell what other games I play besides Spiral Knights. Our sprint question this week kind of has to do with this. This was asked by Paintool on the Spiral Knights forums. This was a really interesting discussion. Greenlink actually pointed this one out to me as something where everyone is agreeing about something.
It restored my faith in humanity by 0.01%.
Would have been not 1% higher if they were agreeing about something that was good about the game. This was something they didn't like, but everyone agreed that they didn't like it. And the question is, should Invincitinks be a thing?
Invincitinks?
Yeah, the Invincitinks. Like, instead of having the Invincitinks on barriers in these guns and, like, the Seraphinx Ray and stuff like that, why not just reduce the damage of those items, damage sources, to make it so that damage tinks are not necessary. You deal the same amount of damage with or without tinks. And if they made that change, would it be better? And so that's the question.
Right.
And honestly, I would say no.
I would say it's very situational. As a concept, it's not the best of ideas, and I'd rather do without it. But there are probably some things that would be absurdly broken, far more than some weapons already are.
Yeah.
But it should not be done to that extension. Things that I would like to see Invince-Tinks removed from are the shard bombs, because then I'd have a reason to actually want to craft one from the crystal bomb that I have, and the ray of light, because then you'd actually be doing decent damage.
Right. But the thought is, if Spiral Knights wants a predetermined set amount of damage to be dealt, i.e., like, say, Seraphings, they just don't want that Q, or whatever, the first, like, attack to be doing that much damage. So, what if they reduced, say, I don't know what the number is, say you deal 200 damage if you, like, use the Ray of Light on a Howitzer with your level 100 guy, all that stuff, and it, like, hits them and then starts tinking him, and you've dealt 200 damage overall. Except now they'll balance it so that when the Ray of Light fires, it deals a total of 200 damage to keep it balanced. I think that's kind of where the discussion was going on the forums.
Yeah, I mean, I'd just like to get more use out of that skill, though. I've only really used it as hitting switches when I can't be bothered, obscure speedrunning tactics whenever I forget to bring the right weapon, or defense down on things like the big iron so I can kill it in one phase.
It's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, I honestly don't think they should be. I agree with you. I don't think Invince-Tinks are great, but at the same time, like, just from a utility standpoint, I like it how it is, because you Ray of Light something, and usually, especially on a mobile enemy, I don't know how many people actually Ray of Light mobile enemies, maybe that's just bad strategy, but the chances of them staying in the ray for the entire duration of the ray is really low. But the chance of you, like, lining up a straight line between you and the enemy, using your Seraphings, and it doing damage for the first full second that he's standing there and then tinking him, is probably better, because it means you get all of the damage on your target. I mean, barriers, they're better for you now than they would be if they, like, balanced out the damage, because you knock a lumber with your freeze barrier 3 or 4 whatever times, and it starts tinking, you back up for a full second, walk back into him, and deal that same amount of damage a second time. If they balanced it to smooth it all out so that damage was dealt over time, I don't know, maybe barriers aren't the best example. That's about equivalent.
Yeah.
And
I can see why it exists, but I think it needs balancing in some ways.
Yeah, it definitely would.
I can see that.
I like the damage mechanics now of Invince-Tinks, where it deals all the damage up front, as opposed to dealing very little damage over a long period of time. Because in Spiral Knights as a hack and slash, especially if you're playing with other people, they're going to be swinging at your nitronoming your guys, and they're no longer going to be standing in the area where Invince-Tinks are a thing. I mean, shard bombs, obviously, they need Invince-Tinks removed. That's a given. But
yeah,
I like the upfront mechanic of damage now. I feel like if they smoothed all that damage out over a long period of time, like, it would make everything that currently has Invince-Tinks obsolete. Like, I think Ray of Light would become even more useless.
Obscure speedrunning tactics.
I guess. I mean, it does the same thing either way, right? Obviously, it would be completely overpowered if they didn't change the damage numbers. They just, like, made it so it doesn't have Invince-Tinks, and the Seraphing steals, like, 1,000 damage when you cast it, because it's going for, like, 5 seconds at max range, and melting defense, and
it's like the laser from the Ruminous Twins.
50, 50, 50, 50, 50, 50, 50, does that 20 times, and, like, boom, things are dead. And, I don't know, that seems a little bit more broken to me. But if it was dealing, like, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, like, many, many times, I would never use it, as opposed to it dealing whatever the number. I'm obviously exaggerating these numbers. It wouldn't be dealing 3 damage, but less damage over a long period of time rather than high damage within the first couple seconds of cast. I don't know.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
It needs fixing, I think, Invincitinks. It's just a mechanic that doesn't make sense. But A, don't question game logic, like the whole fiends with their glyphs. And B, like, the fixes that seem most obvious may be not so obvious, may not be the best things, because they will actually change mechanics and, in my opinion, make things more obsolete. Barriers would not be what they are right now if they smoothed out the damage, made it lower, and then removed the Invincitinks. You'd be dealing less damage over time.
Yeah, I agree.
So, I don't know. Zeb, do you have any kind of opinion on Invincitinks?
I'm still lost as to what they even are, and it's hard for me to form an opinion.
I think
Words are being spoken and sounds are being heard, but nothing's coming out of it.
I think the simplest way I can explain it is, you know how you have some weapons that can only hit a certain amount of times before they stop dealing damage?
What is a weapon like that?
What is it? Shard bombs?
Yeah. Zeb, do you use barriers?
Occasionally.
You know, have you tried continuously damaging an enemy with a barrier?
Yeah.
And it kind of does damage for a little bit, and then it stops.
Oh, okay.
And it makes the enemy invincible to that source of damage. That's an Invincitink. We probably should have said that at the beginning of this, not the end. Wow.
Yeah, that would have been
What are we
much
talking?
more helpful.
What are they talking about?
We just lost 5 people who went out confused.
Yeah.
I'm one of them.
Apologies.
That's okay.
You should have said something, mate.
Well, you were all talking, and I'm like, I don't really want to disturb them.
You should just jump out. What's an Invincitink? You're just like, oh crap, we forgot to mention that. Okay. Well, there you go. Should Invincitinks be a thing? Probably not. Do they get fixed by just balancing the damage over a long period of time? Probably not.
I don't even know.
Our
Should we move
Tortoguns.
on?
Yes, we should. We got a transmutation. Yay. And the bumper runs. Transmutations.
Alright, well, that was the longest sprint question.
Wasn't it?
I mean, I realize you're pressed for time, but jeez, man.
You've got the longest long migration.
I have got 45 minutes, so we should be good. We gave ourselves
okay.
enough of a buffer that we should be good. Transmutations is the what do you want to see added to the game of Spiral Knights kind of discussion, and we are not creative enough to keep coming up with stuff. We did that a lot in the beginning of the history of this show, so if you want to tell us what you want to see added, like a weapon, or an enemy, or a mechanic, or a level, style, or anything, go ahead and let us know. You can contact us through all of the information that we talk about at the end of every show, or the information's also on our website. So, this transmutation comes from Agenta, and he is suggesting that you would have these capsules in lockdown. And it's kind of weird. It's like everyone gets these buffs, and you find them either randomly or purchased with crowns, and they give you like extra health, status immunities, extra defense, full immunities to a status, or one of them which is like super rare from just bribing King Karagmo, which he says all of them, like extra health, extra status immunity, extra defense, speed, attack bonuses, like everything, and you just get this from bribing King Karagmo.
It's important to note that the second sentence on this suggestion says, similar to the TF2 man versus man canister. For those of you familiar with that TF2 mode, that is basically what this is based off of.
Yeah, so you use a boost. It's not permanent, but it's like an activatable kind of thing, where once you get into a fight, a big team fight or whatever, you press a button and you activate your full immunity boost, or your defense speed attack buff boost, or your health and status immunity boost.
Yeah.
So he's talking about this capsule, health and status immunity. This capsule would refill your health by 50%, give you +4 resistance to all statuses for 10 seconds, doesn't remove statuses you have, and you could purchase these for 50 crowns.
It's 50 crowns, 100 crowns, 500 crowns, and the fourth one you can't buy.
All of them, yeah. Second one is like gain the mad stoplight, the movement, attack, defense buffs, which doesn't change status effects or anything. It just lasts for 15 seconds and just makes you big and steroided. And then full immunity, which prevents fire and shock damage, cuts curse damage in half, doesn't affect the traps on the map, lasts 10 seconds, and yeah, and it just gives you full immunity. Except a curse, I guess. And then the fourth one's all of them combined, and you get it just one time, I guess, through bribing King Krogmo at 1%. That's his idea.
I like
Seems
it.
so pay to win to me. Like, there needs to be lockdown with canisters, with, what's he call them, capsules, and lockdown without capsules.
Yeah, I mean, people already complain that lockdown is pay to win. Whether or not that's true, I don't think it's that true. Because I mean, you can kill anyone with anything, but this would give people even more of a reason to complain.
Maybe there should be a limit, like, of how many of these you can buy per game. Like, you can only buy, like, so many of this one per game, and only one of this, just for balance issues. Or you can only pick. You have to pick between number 2 or number 3. You can only get one of either of those.
Right. Or I don't know. Would you
still be somewhat pay to win, but it's more balanced, I feel.
I wouldn't be too opposed to finding them randomly, though.
Yeah, that might be good.
Yeah, that's honestly what I was actually going to suggest. Just like make a new map or even game type that can be PvP, or let's get one of our other game modes in. And we've been asking for this for a while. Let's get a King of the Hill. Let's get a capture the flag or a search and destroy.
Hunger Games.
Hunger Games. Yeah, there you go. Hunger Games would actually be good with these buffs.
Clockwork Games. There you go.
Clockwork Games, and you just get these buffs that are lying around, and you have a chance of finding them. And, like, bribing King Krogmo in this game has a chance of one of the things, instead of, like, being extra Krogmo coins or whatever, one of them it says that's all bonuses combined buff will appear on the map if you bribe and you get that one. I don't know.
I can see
Seems
that, yeah.
to be a little more balanced than in Lockdown.
Mm-hmm.
Because I really think people would hate it in Lockdown. It's a nice suggestion. It's really good. I think it's really creative. I'd love to see it. Maybe just not straight up just a buy for a fourth of the entry cost into Lockdown.
Yep.
It's really strong. Honestly, like on a Guardian, like you're down health and you just restore a full bar's worth of pips of health. Like all of your reds, because that's 50%.
Yeah.
And just keep on trucking.
Why isn't he dying?
And you carry like 7 of them, and you just keep using them as you get low, and you just status bomb for like it would break the game.
Yeah, we have enough
As
immortal
is.
people in lockdown as it is.
Yeah, it's kind of scary.
Another thing that I think might work is it says the first capsule will refill 50% of your total health. Maybe switch that to 50% of your missing health. So that way you can't use it like when you're like at a really high health and get all of your health back. You only get half of what you're missing.
So it's not like a super buff.
Yeah.
That seems like a really nice like turn-based game or card game kind of buff. I don't know. It's a gamble.
It's used in a lot of MOBAs that I've noticed.
Mm-hmm. That is true, actually. I wasn't even thinking of that, but that's true. So, sick idea. Let's get it in a game, in a PvP game, but just not locked down.
Make
Yeah.
a new one.
That's where I'm going with that. That would be my conclusion off that one.
Yeah.
But sick and great idea, Agent A. Thanks for the suggestion. Alright, well, we got Spiral Order Recon coming up next, so stay tuned. Spiral Order Recon. I got it! Yikes! Spiral Knights related media, so our first one here is HRPB's Migration Retaliation. This is his thingamajig, his 5th thingamajig that he's done. It's a video that he puts up on his YouTube channel of him. He'll make something in Spiral Spy, and then he'll go into, I think it's Photoshop that he's using, and touch it up, like, a lot, and make it really nice. And so that's what this is. Not sure if it's art or video. It's kind of both. It's him, you can see his what's it called? Speed art of making this thing, which is, I think this one is like 2 guys with the Tortodrone shields like charging at each other.
Yep.
And they all look really nice.
Yvonne says it's GIMP, which is basically a free version of Photoshop.
Right.
Yes.
Sweet. Alright. Hey, Green, talk about Link Boy's thing, because it's kind of your thing.
I am not the same person. Right. Next we have Link Boy's Spiral Knights boss battle music, remix version 2. And this one's actually pretty nice. I prefer this over his original version.
I do too.
If you ask me, this song is one of the 4 most iconic things in Spiral Knights. Well, 4 most iconic tracks.
Yeah, with the other ones like what? Clockworks, Haven, and main theme?
Yeah, you've got the main theme, you've got the battle theme, you've got Haven, you've got the title screen.
Ah, yes. It's really nice. It's boss battle. He replicates it really well. It's got percussion because why not? That's really good. Link Boy's a great composer.
Totally not me.
Not Sir-Greenlink.
Not Greenlink.
Though I've never seen them in the same room.
Just saying.
We have Blue Flood's Blue Flood is the name of his video, and this is kind of sad and interesting and controversial, and we won't talk about it too much. But he gave a notice quite a few days ago, and he said, hey, I'm quitting the game, so if you want anything that I own, and I haven't blocked you, then go ahead and pay the unbind cost, and it's yours. And then he made a video of him selling everything he owns to strangers, selling the 1 million crowns and 1,000 energy that he had as a result to Contri, the almighty Contri, and then deleting his account.
Aww.
After 140 something.
206 days of playtime.
206 days of game.
Wow.
And just like that. And it seems to have something to do with skillless, quote-unquote, skillless players in lockdown. Which, I don't know, Blueflood has always hated auto-targeters. But it doesn't seem like, oh man, someone was using auto-target and killing me. I'm gonna quit Spiral Knights.
1 sec.
Alright. I just don't know if that's... It doesn't seem like him, especially not from like when we were playing at Spiral Lights and stuff. I mean, he seemed to be enjoying the game and stuff still, and then suddenly like, you know what, you're using auto-target, I quit.
Yeah.
I don't know.
He was selling stuff to the vendor, like all this Stagger Storm with UVs and stuff.
And obviously you're not judging him or pronouncing anything about what his motives were. It just seems kind of odd from him.
I respect his decision, really. I'll be honest, I don't know what is up with the negativity in lockdown, especially towards auto-target. I mean, if anything, it's like training wheels on a bicycle.
Yeah,
right?
I think
it's hard to aim, and once you get past a certain skill level, you're better off without it.
Right.
For certain weapons, it might be hard to use, so it might be like riding a unicycle.
Right, but there's some weapons where it's actually really good to use auto-target, and it's just objectively better to use it than to not use it in lockdown specifically.
Do you mind
the
giving
two
them...
weapons are the handguns with fast shot speed, so Valiance is the first one that comes to mind, and the Warhammer.
Those are actually the weapons that I benefit more without using it.
You think?
Yeah, I've tried it both with and without, and I'm pretty sure I have more accurate swings and shots with auto-target turned off.
Well, then you are a very skilled player.
Yeah, not to stop your conversation, but I think we're derailing quite a bit here.
No, this is Spiral Knights conversation.
I realize.
And
I realize it's still Spiral Knights.
And the thing that I tend to find is whenever someone most people aren't bothered about auto-target, but whenever someone does complain about it, they usually refer to it as auto-aim instead of its a proper name, which usually implies that they have not seen the proper name within the menu, so they are a hypocrite because they probably haven't turned it off.
Possibly. Well, that is a bit of a stretch of an assumption.
Yeah, some people confuse auto-aim with like an aimbot, where like, or tracking, or like it's cheating. I don't think it's cheating. I mean, it's part of the game.
Yeah.
No,
For
I
a
think
reason.
it's there to be used. I just prefer not using it.
How did a flying ant get into this studio? Hold on, I have to kill this thing.
We're under attack.
Stand by. Technical issues.
It's dead. Okay.
Technical issues resolved. Continue.
I don't know. Well, let's have an auto-target discussion sometime. Greenlink will have you back on and stuff. I don't know. I have in my personal experience in talking to Clipic specifically, because he tried it. When he first got his hammer, the first thing he did is, I'm going to auto-target this thing in lockdown. He got his highest damage he's ever gotten in lockdown. Something like 20,000 damage. Just auto-target hammer dashing, because you can track anyone. The striker that's dashing in circles around you, so long as you're facing him within 15 degrees of correction, you'll just dash straight through him and deal all the damage.
I don't know, maybe I'm just lucky or very good at prediction.
Yeah, like I said, it seems like you're really skilled in that matter. I do better with auto-target with those weapons than without. But, again, I think half of that has to do with skill. The other half has to do with the mystery of auto-target. I don't know. Oh, there you go. Maybe we'll get back to that someday. Next one is Comic.
Let's not rage.
Yeah. Comic has this Spiral Knights cosplay kind of thing going on. And this is a chapeau and a tabard, which is kind of cool. And I guess it's a Fang of Og.
Mm-hmm.
Really nice. Good on your comics. Comic. I think it's just Comic. And
I think it's Comic Society. I believe they're a guild mate.
Alright. Well, that works too. And yeah, he gets around. Comics does. On YouTubes and stuff like that too. But very nice job. And yay for Spiral Knights in the real world. Last one, the late submission, is Sir Jinx's Spiral Knights anime episode 6, Misdirection. This is his continuing series on this little quote-unquote anime of Spiral Knights that he's just doing in Spiral Spy with, I think it's Blither Paladin? Or Marslov GA. It's one or the other.
I know that Blither Paladin is one of his quote-unquote assistants in his work.
Mm-hmm. One of them was telling me that they were doing all the scripting for it. I can't remember if it was Mars or Blith. I
think it might have been Mars.
Alright. Anyways, looks really nice. He's got this really funny kind of thing where he this is no spoilers, but this is towards the beginning of the video, and this is one of the knights is like running around top down, like over the clockworks, and bumps into two jellies, and it goes in like this turn-based combat, like strategy combat, Pokemon-esque, Final Fantasy-esque kind of thing.
Super Mario RPG is what struck me first.
There you go. Yeah, JRPG kind of thing. And, you know, it's his standard animating style, and Spiral Spy is very hard to animate in, so you can't give him flack for just the janky kind of animation, but still looks really good. Still telling a story that is still developing. The plot thickens. Go watch it, check it out. It's like a 15-minute video, which takes a long time to animate, so good on him.
Is that
Again,
the longest episode yet?
Perhaps.
Let me double check you on that. I feel like it might be.
Yeah, there should be I'm looking it up too. There should be a pretty easy way to check, I think. If we search anime...
7 minutes.
You had a 7-minute, 12-minute, 13 minutes.
13:01. This
11.
is 13:36.
Yep, that's his longest one.
By 30 seconds.
Creep.
Nice job. Alright, well, I guess that's it. Great job by all you people for making cool stuff. And if you've made cool stuff, or you have a friend who's made cool stuff, send it to us. Let us know. We're happy to feature it.
Free publicity.
Yeah. We have a Buzz Our Banter segment, but that is usually reviewing a weapon or gear or armor or shield or costume. But we did them all. This is 86 episodes in, so we've covered everything that the game has to offer, unless we've skipped something and grievously overlooked it.
I don't believe we've talked in depth about the slime cleaver and the slime shield that came with the last promotional stuff. I think they're just reskins of a previous weapon.
We did talk about them.
Reskins.
Oh, okay, never mind then.
And we have done extensive Troika and Troika discussions.
We'll have to do in-depth stuff about these new gun sword things.
Yes, we will. We'll probably go, like I said, as new weapons come out, and particularly for the gunner update, we need a few weeks to just use them and find out what they do and what's the best way to use them. And a lot of that, with new weapons, it's really easy to talk about in Overheard and Warcraft manner. Also, I like talking about the howitzer strategy and just charge shooting the howitzers and just watching them die.
Skyscythe, Zeddy, Glacies, this is your cue to get more numbers.
Go! And Skyscythe was sending me tons of numbers last night, and again, thankful for them, and finding out that it does the same amount of damage as a Blitz when fully tinked. Anyways, if you want us to talk about something, let us know. We're happy to re-talk about brandishes or Khatri sword, which is a brandish, or miracle armor, or whatever. Let us know, and we will talk about what you want us to revive, but only if you ask us to. So there you go.
What are we gonna do now? Are we gonna do obsolete stuff?
Nah, there's
How
no
to auction house.
buy low, sell high, get a piece of the pie. That's the Wall Street way. All right. I guess we could just jump into unique. How many times have I said "all right" this episode? I've just noticed that.
Alrighty.
At least 3 within the past 5 minutes.
I'll have to agree with that.
All right.
4.
Let's go. All right.
7.
Unique variants.
Ladies and gentlemen, your unique variants.
We don't have any listener contributions this week, but if you want to ask us questions or tell us things, let us know, and we will talk about them here. Otherwise, we're shouting out and headed out. So, it's Sir Jinx's birthday yesterday, so happy birthday to Sir Jinxable.
It's today.
Oh, is it today?
It's
It is
today.
today.
Birth.
Just kidding.
Today, Sunday.
Feliz cumpleaños,
July
amigo.
20th. Happy birthday, buddy.
So,
Yay.
GG, well played, and if you are a person who enjoys his animation and stuff, you might consider giving him something, because it's really nice to be playing a game with someone that you know and appreciate, and can send something that is really only digital, material in the first place, but can still be appreciated.
Plus,
Send
you
him something.
might get your knight in the next video. Who knows?
Just, drown him in birthday
Ecto
wishes
drops.
and ecto drops, yes.
Ecto drops.
Thousands and thousands and tens of thousands of vector drops.
Alright, the ecto drop cipher begins.
Just go to auction house and go to lot size ecto drops and just buy hundreds of thousands of them.
And send them all to Sir Jinxable.
So when he's drowning in ecto drops, he knows who to blame.
Sir
Get it
Jinxable
over the
needs to have
integer.
so many ecto drops that it surpasses the binary or the integer limit on Java and goes over 2.4 billion and runs over into the negatives, and we need to get Sir Jinxable to have negative 2 billion ecto drops, because it will happen if we get him over 2.4 billion. It'll go to the end and go to negative 2.4 billion and then start counting up.
We need to ask Ulysses how many there are actually in the system.
Well, I mean, if there were 16 million prismatic bucketed Vs, I'm pretty sure there's plenty of vector drops around.
Indeed. So give them all to Sir Jinxable. You really don't need them. I promise you don't.
He
You'll find-
absolutely needs them.
And he absolutely does need them. Alright. I guess there we go. And yes, I just dropped that again on you. Are you alright with that?
Yeah.
Shout out to SkySci for pretty much giving me free runs in Tortodrones.
Yes.
Because he's that crazy.
Yay.
I
Nice
took
Sky
part
Scythe.
in a little bit of that. Thank you,
Filthy
friend.
casual Sky Scythe.
Yeah. Tried to think if there's anything else I played. Shout out to Glacies for just being all around cool and getting some free arena runs. We were cycling arenas and getting many, many glyphs that way, and so thanks for the tip and the invites and for being cool. I guess that's the end of episode 86. So
Hooray.
Right.
you can tell. Nice. Keep doing that. So it seems like I'm not the only one. Alright?
I'm not the only one.
Alright.
You can tell a friend about us, because if you think we're alright, then you can tell them we're alright, and that's how we get word out on the show, because that's really the only way we do it, alright? So
And that'll be alright with us.
that will be alright with us. You can call us on
You
our
can call
phone.
us all right on our phone number at 16783227765.
Right? You can, you can check out all of the
Right
episodes of
places.
yes, all right places to see the links in this episode, all the episodes of the Arsenal podcast at squalely.com/arsenal, and the content on the website happens to be all right, not left. We have a YouTube that has over 700 subscribers now, so thanks everyone. I'm trying to get another Quest of Vanguard done. I really am. I'm sorry it's taking a long time. The big trouble is that I'm stuck at the Royal Jelly, and I need to keep I need enough time to get through the Royal Jelly and grind it out a few more times to get enough gems to make it worth making another episode, because otherwise I'm just going to do Jelly Palace again, and I don't know. If you really want to see more Jelly Palace and me just doing it and talking about nothing in particular and saying alright and a bunch, let me know. Otherwise, you're going to be just on hold a little bit as I grind out a little bit more. I try and get it out on stream, but a lot of it I'm doing it like just odd hours and off my keyboard and not really recording and wanting to be quiet and stuff like that. So
let's hope you manage that alright.
Alright. I think that's everything. You can email us at arsenal@sklally.com. That's the most common way that we get contacted. Except for in-game. Ladison-Sklay in-game, Lord-Hood, Sir-Greenlink, and Zebramf for Zebramf.
Yes.
The Zebra
with an M and an F.
With a
Munitions Factory.
There you go.
There you go.
The Zebra Munitions Factory confirmed DLC.
Bliss.
Not really.
Onion rings.
It's like Operation Crimson Hamster.
Yes.
Lord Hood is Lord Herrick's brother, so.
Bliss onion rings, make it a thing. And by the way, do that, please. Make a relatively inappropriate music choice video while I'm thinking about it. Go to youtube.com/spickensk. I think it's spickensk or it's spicken. One or the other. And make a video like his, like we've been talking about. But also, if you're talking about a trolly, jokey kind of thing, call 3 rings onion rings, because it's best that way. Alright?
Or 3 onion
Tell me
rings.
tasty onion rings.
Or we 3 kings, I don't know.
3 golden rings.
Please, 3 ring circers.
Ring server.
Yeah, that's what 3 rings con is gonna be, the 3 rings onion.
Yeah, I like that better. I don't know. That's a toss-up between 3 ring circus and onion rings. Oh well. Both are alright.
We've been dragging this outro on forever.
It's best that way, right?
It's alright by me.
Oh gosh.
Thank you for listening, everyone, and I hope you have an alright day.
Call us at 1-800 already then.
Goodbye.
We deserve to die.
Well, that's a nice note to end on.
Sure to think of something to end off that, but never mind.
Dear God.
Geared up and ready to go? Thanks for listening to the Arsenal, a Spiral Knights podcast. See links and listen to previous episodes on our website, sklally.com/arsenal. Send comments, questions, and audio to arsenal@sklally.com, or give us a call at 1-678-322-7765.
Should I feel bad that I read last week's title as Send All My Religions?
Well, hold on. Let me see what last week's title was, because I don't recall.
It was send forth all just like all my religions.
All my religions.